Hello, today I'm going to be talking to you about cricket breeding. I breed my crickets in like an old toy box that I had when I was a young child, and I basically use normal garden soil, and I bought some tropical soil for my cockroaches, and I mixed that in half and half. Also I put old egg cartons in there, and bits and pieces such as milk tops with moisture in them, and I use egg cartons and milk tops for feeding, for feeding dishes, and that works quite effectively. I've been keeping cockroaches and all sorts of insects for quite some time. I got four discoid cockroaches in a green enclosure, 2 adults and 2 juveniles. They aren't breeding very well, which is a bit of a shame, but I do try my best. I also keep a harvest spider that I found crawling in my bathroom, and so I feed that cricket different things. That's quite interesting. I've also got a pet dog. I don't know if you can see. That's Gypsy. Hello, Gypsy. Gypsy, you good girl. Good girl. Yeah, that's my dog. She's a Jack Russell Cross. Hello, this is my cricket breeding enclosure. As I said earlier on, this is actually an old toy box that I had when I was very, very young. Sorry for the camera shake in this part of the video. It's basically because I haven't got a tripod or anything, and I'm halfway off the bed showing you. Okay? Anyway, I'll show you the different aspects of the enclosure and how I try and promote breeding and good health. The first thing is space. Now, space is very important for crickets. As with many animals, without enough space, animals will get very stressed, and that leads ultimately to ill health and disease. If you've got unhappy animals, they are more subject to those certain bad elements, such as I've specified earlier on. So if you're interested in breeding crickets, space is a definite. Also, I'll just go forward and zoom into the soil. That there is the soil mixture that I told you. It's about halfway across, so halfway across the box, and that's a mixture of tropical soil and garden potting soil. The tropical soil I got, and it's for lizards, and it's basically a reptile formula, but I got it in a pet shop. But I would say that any soil is good soil, as long as it's got no chemicals in it. I know when I try locusts, we use sand, and that worked quite effectively. Okay, so you got the soil, that needs to be kept moist. I keep mine moist by spraying with a spray bottle every few days. With the tropical soil, it's a very dark brown soil when it's dark and damp, and it gets very much lighter when it becomes dry. So that's one thing to look out for if you're going to use tropical soil. The reason why you can't see properly, or you might see the light from outside, is because I use cling film to go across. Now this is very important because the actual box is very small in terms of height. Some crickets can jump out of there, so I use that to prevent them from jumping out. And of course, cling films are plastic, and plastic isn't very good, so I'm using different bits and bobs such as this and books to hold it down. Now, for shelter, I'm going to use these old egg cartons, which are very, very effective and they're very cheap. I like to give my cockroaches a lot of space. I don't use substrate all over it, so I use about half substrate and half not. I got two old fish lids, but we went to Tesco's and we bought in Wales we have lava bread, which is basically seaweed, and that's one of our little things that we have in Wales. So that there is a dish that we have in Wales, and it's a fabulous dish and I really like it. And the lid I'm using as a water source. That basically is a piece of kitchen cloth put in water, so it's very damp, and it keeps the water in, and it's like a canal sort of system, like a little mini reservoir. That's important to keep that damp. Some crickets may actually lay their eggs in it, which is very good. Now the other one I use for keeping them in stock of food. Now these here are basically Cheerios. Now I'm going to shine a light to show you the Cheerios. Well, they are Cheerios. You can buy them in any shop, and they're very good for your crickets. You can use fruit, Cheerios, any cereal, anything that we eat, they'll eat. I'll show you some of the crickets. This here is a female laying eggs in the water dish. Females get to a certain age when they're adults and they breed. Once they have bred, they lay eggs in a damp substrate. The substrate doesn't have to be soil, it can be cloth or cotton wool, but preferably from a breeder's perspective, substrate is better. Okay, we now move on to on top of the house, and there's a little variety of bits and pieces here. But on the edge there, that's a young cricket. That's a young female cricket. I don't know if you can see there, but that one is stretching its legs. And that's the female laying her eggs. The males usually go onto the substrate up by there, and there, and there. They seem to use that as a territorial pitch from which they use to have battles. And that is very important within the breeding system. The louder the call, the more stronger the male. and the better it will be for breeding. Survival of the fittest in most cases. In nature, natural selection. It is very important. Okay, well that's it now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to give me any questions or comments, please comment below, and I'll try and get you some more videos soon. But just before I go, I've got a little spider in my bedroom, and I just thought you'd like to see it. It's right next to the cricket enclosure. Obviously it can't get in because of the cling film. It's a little daddy longlegs, a harvestman, so I'll show you that now, okay? Yeah, it's a little treat. See you. Bye bye.